Hey, how's it going today? It's Frankie and I'm here with Sci-Fi Sundays, and this movie is called The App. Honestly, I have no idea what to think of this movie. I was really confused by the storyline and what was going on. It's not a long movie, it's an hour and 19 minutes. And I only watched it because it's a sci-fi movie and it's Sci-Fi Sundays. I watched it because it piqued my interest of what it was about. It's about this guy called Nick. And he sort of discovers an app called Us, where, you know, it's those typical type of apps. But this app is so different. It's sort of like, it kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It's sort of like, it stresses him out a lot, especially as the movie goes on. His girlfriend was the one that introduced him to it. And you don't really see him use the app often. With what this movie is about, I expect him to be using the app a lot more. But, you know, he only used it the odd time, like, to talk to someone there was someone called Molly. I don't know who else he spoke to. But he comes across someone called Maria. And that's not actually an actual name. And he also used a fake name called Lorenzo. And they start messaging, and he was about to abandon the app until, you know, Maria sort of said, "Oh, don't abandon me, we could be together." And I'm telling you now, it's better if you watch this movie, because the ending kind of caught me off guard. Maybe a lot of people expected it, but the ending certainly caught me off guard. And as the movie went on, I'm just kind of thinking, what's happening? It's not really hot enough for me. And for a movie that doesn't contain romance, for a movie that doesn't say romance or mystery to it, it's certainly got a bit of both in that. There wasn't, you know, they made two scenes a bit raunchy, you know, for those type of scenes, but no. Didn't really last very long. And he tells his girlfriend he tells his girlfriend he gets with the app and his girlfriend's pregnant and stuff like that. And then this person keeps calling him, which is of the woman. But then he eventually meets the woman, but then the woman isn't Maria, it's somebody else. And then I thought Miriam, you know, one of the hotel staff, was probably in on it. She wasn't. But then she also, like, sort of records him while he's sleeping. And I don't know if Miriam was also the person he went to. I was a bit confused. And then when one of the other hotel staff, like, comes, I think the manager or something, sees like a laptop, and she opens up the laptop, and it's that woman sort of like talking and just talking a bit, you know, dirty. And then the woman doesn't know that it's another woman that's watching or something like that, and she sort of tells Miriam off or something. That's the name of Miriam or something like that. I thought it was Ophelia at first, it wasn't. And then this person sort of stalking everything that, you know, Nick's doing and watching him. And I was thinking, who is it? What is going on here? Seriously, I thought it was his girlfriend tricking him at first. It wasn't. And then I thought maybe it's someone that we probably come across, and maybe it's a bit weird what the hell is happening. And she sort of tells me to go meet him, and like meet her at, not cemetery, but meet her at the park. And then, but then he sort of like goes somewhere, and then she said, "Oh, you're too late." And then she says, "Meet me here." It's sort of like, is this person messing around with him, like tricking him? Because he instantly has a connection with her. She has a connection with him. They develop something, and they act like they should be together, and the connection is that strong. And I was thinking, yeah, this movie is portraying like, you know, you don't know somebody for that long, but you can have a big connection with them, you can be together with them. But then, as the movie went, I'm kind of thinking, what is it? I need to know. I'm itching to know what's happening. And bear in mind too, this movie ain't that long, so this is going to be pretty quick to explain. And then, you know, he sort of goes and he has nervous breakdowns, and he couldn't do the movie, right, that he was told to do. He couldn't act in it. And he also turned down a big dream job to make lots of money just because of this person, right? And then she tells him to meet her on the terrace, which is, no, I think at the rooftop or so, as they call it. And then she says, "Oh, I'm here." She wasn't there. And then you begin to find out she was an AI algorithm the entire time. What? I know that may not be a big thing to a lot of you viewers out there, to a lot of you people that watch movies, but it certainly caught me off guard, because an AI algorithm that spoke like an actual person. And I'm just realizing now, AI people now, it's like with AI, it's becoming more realistic now. So it would have made perfect sense to be an AI algorithm on an app like this. And she did say as well, you turn down, everything just to try and, get with someone that wasn't real. That I put in wrong words, but that's not exactly how she said it. And then she was just asking, I'm living in you in terms of like the technology bit, and she's watching him. That explains the pictures and everything, because the AI videos take a picture and it makes perfect sense, because how was a person magically know where the person is unless it was an actual stalker? But then an actual stalker would go to them to do something like that, but they would. But it just felt kind of crazy how a typical stalker would be doing that much like that, knowing everything like that. It just makes perfect sense. And then another part of the movie which confused me the most was when there was something in the news about him, and they talked about some sort of app and how he got breakdown in the movie, and how the app or whatever accused him of something really bad. And then nothing much came from that part of the movie, which didn't make much sense why they include that. Then when he went to see that woman in the church, she sort of says, "Oh, my name's Maria, I don't know who I am." What the hell? That didn't make any sense to me that much at all. So I don't get it. Like, there was two different people instigating phone calls here. So was it just the AI person all along, or was that woman also doing phone calls as well? Because to me, it just confused me to death. It really did. The acting for me was great. The overall story, I was actually interested a tiny bit, but also very confused by what was going on. The dialogue was fine. The movie wasn't that bad. It was good quality for a movie like that. It was decent. But then I wouldn't say it's a decent movie overall. I just seem to think if it wasn't for that interesting minor twist at the end, I don't think the movie would have gotten up a rating as what I'm going to give it. But I don't know. I guess the more of this type of thing is like, people fall for stuff like this, and sometimes if something's too good to be true, it actually is. And we've all been there with too good to be true type stuff. And it ends up to be, it ends up to be like messing with your head, and it's actually ends up to be, not as good as it seemed, and you sort of can get into danger with too good to be true type stuff, and you sort of get messed around with, especially if it's like a person or whatever it is. It can mess around with you, and that's not nice at all. So he fell for the trap easy. He could have said no, but he fell for it, and which is quite sad, because he had everything going for him until that moment the app messed him up. And bear in mind, his girlfriend did say at the start, this is partly his girlfriend, but she said, "Oh, I'm doing it for research, so please help me out and tell me what's going on with this." Like, what? Why would you tell your man that? You could have said that to anybody, but you got him on it too. I thought she was part of it. She wasn't. And then there's a scene of like a snake that he found his like bed on his bed in his room was from like, I think that Maria person, whoever it was. The movie absolutely confused the hell out of me, but it does kind of get you thinking. A lot of online stuff is too good to be true, and I don't believe anything online. I love social media to death, and even I know there's a lot of fake stuff and scammers on there. I've been there. I've spoken to them before. I mean, I found out they were scammers and just simply said no to them, and I don't go down that road. So yeah, it's easy enough to go with it and to fall for it, or it's easy enough to be curious. But at the end of the day, it's very best to make the right decision and just say no to it. That's what he should have done as soon as as it wasn't going for him. He just delete it. So yeah, again, don't know what else to say about this movie. I don't know. I mean, rating for this, I was going to give it a 5 because I wasn't feeling it, but the ending kind of made up for it. I'll give it a rating higher, just simply because the ending was kind of like, it kind of made me realize, oh, it's an obvious type of ending, but I did not know it was going to be that sort of ending kind of thing, if that makes any sense. So I didn't see it coming. So yeah, I'll give this one a 6. I think improvements, make the storyline clearer, probably have a bit more scenes where it kind of ties in with the movie as well, and probably have maybe an ending which could have been different, see what would have happened, because at the end it caught me off guard. I expect something a little different. So yeah, but I do think there needs to be a lot of improvements for this type of movie. Acting, storyline, dialogue was good. Concept of what the movie was about was good. I just seem to think it wasn't decent enough for me to get a higher rating. So some people might think differently, so you might find this movie interesting, but really in hindsight, it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. So yeah, this 6 out of 10 is about fair. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification below, as I see you in my next video.